Hey Will, how are you?
Hello, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm great. How is London these days?
It's about as London as all your listeners will
Yes, that's why I'm asking, right?
be guessing. I think.
Same. Okay,
Yeah,
great. So Will, we have plenty of things to discuss today. Maybe we'll start with just a quick intro about yourself and about your companies to give some context to the discussion.
yeah, sure. So I'm Will. I run Customers Who Click. We're a CRO agency for e-commerce. Been doing this for about 4.5 years now as an agency. And before that, my experience was in house. So I was head of conversion for a big gambling company here in the
Mhm.
UK, and then before that, it was actually startups, including one of my own. So doing a little bit of everything because that's what you do in startups, right? Um,
Yeah,
so touching on pretty much everything you can do in marketing, but everything kind of led me down that route of customer research. Like, what are the problems we're trying to solve, either on the website or in our customers' lives, and looking for ways we can optimize for that to make our advertising more efficient, to convert people better, and make people happier with our products. So yeah, I kind of essentially fell into CRO just because I was doing it anyway.
yeah.
And then yeah, when I left my last job, this is what I wanted to do.
Okay, so this is very interesting. So why you are so passionate about CRO? What makes it so interesting for you?
I think it's the part of the research and the data.
Hmm.
So speaking to customers, running interviews, getting feedback from people, and also the problem solving element of it. Looking at a website and thinking, why aren't people viewing products, or why aren't people adding to cart? Like, what's missing from this experience? Is it something more technical on the page that is a problem and needs fixing, or um, are people anxious about the purchase and they haven't, they're not convinced that the product is right for them? Or could it be that they're getting they're finding the products, they're getting all the information, but they're just sat there going, okay, well, why is your product special? Why should I buy your product? And so, you might have them fully convinced it's the right product, but if they're going to sit there and go, well, I've also got 5 other tabs open, I can see 5 other similar products,
Hmm.
which one is going to wow them?
Yeah. Now, the things that you've mentioned right now are like generic. It's not like niche specific or anything, right? It's related to how to differentiating your products, right? How you optimize. So it's very, very clear these are areas that needs obviously to be explored and evaluated. When you engage with it with a customer, right? What are the how the process works? What usually are the triggers that customers are reaching out, and how do you start analyzing what's going on and suggest areas for improvement?
Yes, I mean, there's two main reasons a brand will reach out to us. One is they think they have a problem on their website, and so they need someone to come in and fix it and work it out. Or more commonly, actually, um, brands who are happy with how things are going. They're profitable. They're selling well. They're running a good company, but they want to do better,
Hmm.
and they want to scale more, and they want to look for opportunities to increase their conversion rates, increase AOV, lifetime value, reduce returns rates, reduce the amount of discounts they give out. All these different things. So those are, that's the more common type of brand. The ones who are there. They're happy with how things are going. They're not in panic mode. They're not worrying about, you know, do they need to switch off ads or cut their budget? They just want to do more and better. And so, when we start working with a brand, we've got our unique methodology. It's the UAM method, which I kind of hinted at just earlier, which is usability. So, can people find the products they want on your website, and can they buy them? So, can they select their options properly? Can they make any customizations necessary? Um, do they get to use their preferred payment method? But it also could be things like, if I need to get in touch with someone and ask them a question, have you got live chat, which makes it really easy? Or do I have to submit an email and then leave and hope that someone gets back to me soon? Then we have the A, which is anxiety. So these are the questions and concerns someone has about your products and your business. Right. So the easy example is always food. Right. Or another one would be fashion, but let's go with food. If I'm buying a sort of like ready meal or like a meal kit or something, and I've got a food allergy, I have to know whether that allergen is present in this product. So if it states the allergens, I can be reasonably confident and say, well, you haven't listed the one that I've got, so I'm fine to buy it.
Yeah.
If you did not list allergens, then I might be able to read through the the ingredients, and I can see that there's no nuts in there, for example, or no peanuts. But if you don't state that it's free of that allergen, I can't be 100% sure, and therefore I cannot buy it.
Yeah.
Right. Other products people might be willing to take a risk with. Right. I guess the fashion example. We know people. I actually worked with a footwear retailer a couple of years ago, and they saw a huge number of people were buying 2 pairs of this same shoe. They would buy, a size 8 and a size 9, and then they would keep the one that fit them and send the other one back.
Send the other one back. Yeah.
Right. So they don't have a problem making that purchase. However, you've got to deal with a return, which is expensive.
Sure.
So we don't want that. But there are going to be other situations where people don't want to shell out the money in the first place. Right? I buy my t-shirts and things from True Classic, who are doing fantastically. They've got an incredible website. It's a reasonably large amount of money to put down in one go, right? To get free shipping, for example, I think it's might even be $100 now. So I don't want to spend $100 or £100 if I'm not sure it's going to be right for me.
Yes.
I'm thinking, right, this could take, I didn't know this actually when I first bought them, but I think they took about 10 days to arrive the first time.
Okay.
Because I think they shipped from the States. So that's 10 days where I've already spent £100. Then I've got to try them on. If they don't fit, I've got to send them back, wait for them to get back, and then I'm going to get my refund.
Yes.
Or I could go down to a shop, try some products on, and purchase the ones, and only spend the money on the ones that fit. So it's really important that we do everything we can to explain products and make sure people are have the information they need to make that decision.
Yeah, like I tried that link at least 5 times to make a purchase, and I didn't, right? Because of that same reason. That first purchase is so expensive. I mean, they're doing a phenomenal marketing job, and as you said, their website looks amazing, right? But I probably will make a purchase one time along the line, but I didn't for at least 5 times that I tried.
I mean, I can say they are fantastic. I've made a second purchase. I can't see myself buying from anywhere else unless True Classic goes, disappears. Because also, even though it's a t-shirt, right? It's a plain t-shirt. And when you put it like that, it sounds like nothing special. But now I know that I've got t-shirts that fit me and I like the fit and I like the feel of them. Why would I go anywhere else? Now my anxiety about purchasing from somewhere else is, I don't know if your products are going to be as good as True Classic.
Yes.
So instead of taking the risk, again, taking that risk on that purchase, I might as well just buy from True Classic again. Right.
Yeah.
I know the same thing would happen like skincare and things like that. Once people find a product that works for them, it's really, really difficult to get people to move.
Yeah.
But
and then I like the anxiety definition, right? It's right.
I did give one talk once, quite early when we'd launched the UAM methodology, and I got asked to change it because they didn't want to use anxiety as a term.
Okay.
On there, which I kind of get in a way, but yeah. But yeah, sorry. The other side of anxiety is the business as well, right? You've got to trust the business. You've got to think, okay, they've got good reviews. I can see live chats, so they're contactable. They've got an address, and there's some off-site stuff as well, right? I might look at your Instagram account. If I can see there's a story there and you post a lot and you get engagement, these are all good signs. And then we've got motivation, which is kind of that final important factor, really. If I can find and buy the product, that's great. If I can find all the information I need about that product, that's great. But if I'm not sat there going, I need this now, I want this as soon as possible because I want this product because it's going to make a difference to my life. If I'm not feeling that, then the chance of me buying just plummets.
Yeah.
Because I'm probably going to have 3 or 4 tabs open. There'll be other websites I'm aware of. I will just go browse. And if it might be possible that none of them wow me, but if I need the product, I need the product. And then I'm probably going to go with price or something like that. So it's the products that wow you. And that's what True Classic did, right? That's why I spent more money than I've ever spent before, I think, on t-shirts.
Yeah.
Because I was really, really confident that these were going to be different and going to be special. And that's what got me over the line.
Yes. So if you try to probably zoom into any of these, the usability part, the anxiety part, and the motivational part, in terms of usability, we know that attention span is very, very low, right? It's even below 2 seconds. I think the last report I saw, it's like 1.7 seconds, right? Attention span users have on any new website, and also discoverability is a challenge, right? I mean, you need to find what you're looking for. What are so I'm going to ask you like best practices or tips, like in each one of those categories for the listeners to have more value from this chat. So let's dissect usability. What are the things that you see that are maybe like common for most websites? I don't know if this is even an option, and that you usually pay more attention to and focus on improvements.
So just one quick comment on best practices.
Yeah.
Right. I believe in best practices in a certain way, which is, best practice in CRO is to test, to do research, to do analysis. Best practice in e-commerce is to have a functioning, normal e-commerce site, right? And then you start playing with it and adding things. So if you've got navigation, a normal search, the ability to just pick an option, add to cart, go to checkout and buy, that's best practice. Right? If you start veering away from those bits, those basic fundamentals, that's where we start to see some problems occurring.
Yes.
But after that, when it comes to sticky add to cart buttons and video content and even reviews and payment methods, all these different things, there's very few best practices that just work across the board. You need to test, you need to understand if it's going to work for your audience.
Okay.
So, but coming back to usability, I guess the main two would be search, depending on what you're selling. Obviously, some brands, if you've got a limited number of products, you don't really need to search. Not many people use it. Or if you've got products that are a bit difficult to search for, because people might not know what to search for. Or, I worked with a custom PC brand before. People aren't searching for a specific, PC type, because firstly you don't know the name of it, because their names are super long because they go into all the detail. But also the whole point was you're building something custom. So you go into, you follow their flows, you answer questions, you build your products. But search is really, really powerful. So if you're in like fashion, skincare, beauty, anything like that, jewelry, search works really well. And the same goes for navigation. So navigation, just the most important thing is keep it simple and keep it obvious. Right? If I click on your navigation bar, so whether it's shop all or if you've got men's, women's, if I hover over it or click it, any of those categories that open up should be immediately obvious what I'm going to get if I click on that.
Yeah.
So if we've got clothing, for example, it should say t-shirts, shirts, jeans, trousers, shorts, jackets, jumpers, that sort of thing, right? As soon as you start putting in your own branded terms, no one else has a clue what you're talking about. And you're asking people to open every single category just to work out what's behind that page.
Yeah.
It's not too bad in your standard D2C e-commerce. But we do see it a lot in kind of, I've seen it with like motorbikes, custom PCs, and some like health and beauty stuff where, you know, they're trying to point you in the right direction with this collection, but they just name it something that doesn't actually do that. And you would only know if you know, right? So instead of being the nighttime routine, right, which is really clear and obvious, they'll have some branded term.
Okay.
Right. I don't have anything off the top of my head, but they'll have a branded term, and you're just looking at like, I don't know what this is.
Yeah. So
that's just, that's, I'd say probably one of the most important things.
Yes.
Just make it easy.
So what I hear you say is that it's okay to direct users to my collection, for example, because I have a higher margin there and I want to promote that collection. That's fine, as long as you're using in this not branded terms or not specific terms, just commonly used terms, right? For users to quickly understand where they are in the navigation, right?
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, like some fashion brands, some jewelry brands have collections because they're collections from a designer, for example. But that still needs to be clear.
Okay.
Right. So, and I think there's the same terms get used by different brands in different ways. So some brands will use collections as like categories.
Yes.
Right. So you'll click on collections and you'll see t-shirts, shirts, and all that. Others use collections as the special stuff, right? The stuff they've put together specifically for that collection.
Right. Yes.
And so that's where things get a bit confused. And if I go onto a jewelry brand website, I go onto collections and I see all these random names. It just puts me off because I don't have a clue. Right? I might not know who these people are because I'm not in that space.
Yes.
So yeah, and the same goes. So just quickly on like the homepage, for example, or even on collection pages where you're linking across things, just keep things quite high level as much as possible, and then let people dig in from there. So on the homepage, just get people into the shop and let them start finding their way from there. I had the footwear retailer actually from a while ago. Their main call to action on the homepage always led you to their new in collections and never to just all the products. And they also didn't have like all men's, all women's available in their navigation.
Okay.
And I kept pushing them on this. They had a specific reason for doing it that I could not shift them away, but we could see it was a problem because people were clicking through and then seeing that they were already on kind of a filtered page, and they didn't want that. They wanted just everything so that they could do their filtering.
Yes. So this is very true also for the search, right? I mean, people are searching for terms that they are probably thinking about, considering. It needs to be aligned with the way you describe your products, PDPs, and variety of keywords in the website, right? So when people are searching and typing, right, what is the expected result that you would love to see from that search results?
Well, I guess the expected result would be a set of products which either matches that search term or matches the requirement. Right. So again, like some people might not search for your product exactly, or they might not call it the same thing. So initially, if you haven't got any data, there's not a lot you can do apart from say, okay, well, we know a common term for this product is also this. So let's just make sure both of those turn up the same result. But then once you've been live for a little while, or once your search has got data, go into that data, see what people are actually searching for, and then go tailor that search experience to make sure they're getting the right stuff.
Yes.
So, if people are searching for comfy sofas, for example, right? Comfy is probably a word that never appears anywhere on your website, right? Yeah. But if people are searching for it, they've probably got something in mind as to what that means. And you've got to have a think about that, and at least just show sofas,
Yes.
right?
I mean, you searched in some of the website, and there was a big menu just open up, right? With a specific product, maybe a collection we spoke about, obviously some special discounts or a loyalty program benefits, or like it's an opportunity to obviously showcase a lot of things, right? And just redirect users the way you want them. Also an opportunity to use content recommendation maybe for the most advanced
Yep.
searches around out there. But again, it's all, as you said, it depends on the amount of data that the brand has that been able to make such decisions. And
Yeah,
if
I mean, these people are high intent, right? If they're
yeah,
searching, it's
yeah,
because they are looking for something. I mean, obviously their search term might be a bit vaguer, but they have something in mind they want, and they are probably considering buying, or at least doing that research for a purchase.
yeah,
So yeah, take the opportunity, like
interesting.
put a bunch of options in front of them, allow them to sort and filter if you have got a large number of products. Put some key messaging in front of them. I mean, you could even potentially offer a discount there and say,
Exactly.
these products, because you've searched, all these products are 5% off or something.
Yeah. What will be let's say a good or very good conversion rate for those shoppers who actually search?
There's no set conversion rate.
Yeah, but from your experience,
also
what are your thoughts? Yeah.
we see if they're using a good search function, we see around 4 times the
Wow,
conversion rate.
4 times.
Sometimes higher. I think the most we've seen, I think it was about 8.4 times higher for people who searched and then purchased. For most brands, it's probably around the 4 mark. And if you're using quite a basic search, that doesn't immediately start prompting you with results and things. It could be around 2.
Yeah.
But that's still 2 times the conversion rate for people who want to search.
So that's a hot topic, right? I mean, websites should encourage users to search in various ways, right? Just to get them into the funnel and then into the buying process, at least.
It's not necessarily encourage them to search, because you're going to have loads of people who don't want to search.
Yes,
they're still buyers,
but
they don't want to search. But it's make search obvious.
Uh-huh.
We all know, right? As marketers and people in e-commerce, we all know the search icon is in the top right corner.
Yes.
On almost every website, or in the top in the middle. Customers don't think like that, right? Some people will know, some people don't have a clue, right? Or some people don't know what that icon is, right? I know that probably sounds a bit mental to some people, but some people just don't know these things because they've never clicked it.
Yeah.
Or they've only seen it as an open bar which says search. So they don't know what the magnifying glass is. So we've run a bunch of tests on this, and it's I think it's probably our test with the highest success rate across clients.
Wow.
Which is just making search more obvious, so that we're not putting it in front of people and saying use search. We're just making sure that when they're on the screen, they go, "Oh, there's a search bar there. Like, why don't I use that instead?"
Yes. I'm happy we've discussed this because it sounds to me like a very, very important topic. So
yeah.
So in terms of the anxiety part of things, it's obviously the effort there is to reduce maybe objections, be transparent on data and like in product information description, whatever communication it is relevant, and it's all about building some kind of a trust factor, right? Around that. And I know you have the 3R trust method, right? You want to spend more time probably discuss about that?
Yeah, I mean, so there's a few ways of looking at it from an anxiety point of view, and something I was thinking about this recently. Actually, a lot of brands spend way too much time on benefits, right? In fact, for years, I think there was the popular phrase was "features tell, benefits sell," and people took that to mean don't use features, only use benefits. But if you only use features, if you only use benefits, then people don't know what you're actually selling, right?
Yes.
Sorry, not exactly what you're selling, but like, what's this thing actually do?
I mean, it was a hot topic that's been years. I mean, in any sales course, right? You talk about don't sell features, sell benefits, values.
Yeah,
Don't do like feature dumping or spray and pray type of, all the
yeah.
features stuff. But and there's a huge
People still want to know
there
this
is a
stuff.
higher layer than that. Just talk about the emotional connection and like the higher layers of beyond benefit, right? And people, right, they're exposed to advertising of from everywhere about brands trying to build some emotional connection with their shoppers through emotions. But at the end of the day, people are buying products, and the features are very, very important. You need the size,
Yeah.
the color, right? Fits or not fits. So yeah, I mean,
So
what are your thoughts on this? I mean, it's like a big spectrum of data that or information that can be spread across.
exactly, yeah. So I think benefits fit more into the motivation piece, right? Because
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
what we're trying to do. We're trying to motivate them to buy, which is where we use the benefits.
Mm-hmm.
But the features side, right now, if you're buying a bookshelf, for example, or a desk,
Yes.
and someone just told you the benefits of it, you'd be like, well, but how big is it?
Yeah.
How do I set it up? How do I
Yeah.
install it? Like, what's it made of? Right? You've got none of these questions. Right? Again, coming back to the food
Yeah.
example, if all a page said was this product is great at helping you lose weight, 70% of our customers have lost weight, and all these things, but didn't tell you any ingredients or any nutritional content,
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to buy it, are you? Right? You've got questions to be answered about the product, and that's where the anxiety piece comes in. But yeah, another part of it is trust. Right, so we've got our 3R trust method, which is reassurance, reputation, and reliability. So reassurance is like contact information, right? I want to know that I can contact this business. I want to know that it's a real business, and that firstly, if I make a purchase, I'm going to get it, and that's all going to be fine. But if I have any problems, there is actually a real business here that's going to help me with it. Obviously, reputation is social proof. So that could be things like reviews of the business, reviews of the products, but it's also a bit of the offsite activity as well. So again, like I mentioned Instagram earlier, but loads of people will go to an Instagram account just to see, does this look like a legit business? Do people leave comments about products? And are those comments good or bad?
Yeah.
Right. So if you post on Instagram and there's loads of comments on your post, that from a purely metric side point of view, you'd be like, oh great, we're getting loads of engagement. But if loads of people are coming there looking at those comments and everyone is saying, where's my item, where's my product, where's my order, or
Yeah.
it sucks, it doesn't work for me, and all that stuff, you're not gonna make that
One bad
purchase.
review worth maybe 1,000 good reviews, right? So it doesn't have to
Yeah,
be a lot
exactly.
of
And
bad reviews, even one or two.
another great example of that is actually Facebook ads.
Okay.
Right, where you see comments. So it's really good to encourage comments, but also just get people commenting, reply to those comments, as long as they're happy. Again, this is probably something where I'm a bit biased because I'm a marketer, but I am really, really, really put off if I click on comments on a Facebook ad and I can see that there's however many comments, 17 comments or whatever. I click in there, I click on all comments, and there's like one, maybe more, and I'm thinking, you've hidden these comments because they're bad.
Wow. Yeah.
So I don't know if a lot of people think like that. I probably not. It's probably something that I'm just biased on because I'm a marketer. But yeah, so there's on-site and off-site trust elements there, and then the reliability is kind of refunds and returns. Like if something goes wrong, obviously on the reassurance, it's I can contact you and that sort of stuff. But the reliability is, is your returns policy actually good? And am I going to get a refund? Do you have loads of costs involved? And stuff like that.
Yes.
So
you're referring about things like social proof, increasing the trust factor, maybe use maybe bringing those reviews back to your e-commerce to the product page, putting those reviews there as a proof of confidence, right? And maybe use video to showcase things which is more clearly, and just be more specific on the specification of the product, right?
Yeah, and again, it all really, really depends on what you're selling and who you're selling to. which really determines the types of reviews that work and work better.
Mm-hmm.
So we're working with a kind of children's very young, small children's nutrition brand at the moment, and they do really, really well with video content and UGC, like from summer influencers, but they're also doing it with kids on the video. Right, so you're like, okay, this is actually a parent. They're saying this product is really good, and I think when you're giving something to your child, you want to be really, really confident that this is all okay, because I suppose you can't necessarily determine yourself whether that product's good because you're not taking it.
Yeah.
But if loads of other people are saying it's great, then you're good.
Yes, I guess that's a very good example with the kids. But influencers. I mean, a lot of brands are spending more and more in influencers. But I think most of the shoppers knows that they're getting paid, and it's not that authentic, and so it's there's also challenges around that, right? So obviously, things are.
I think even that is a bit. I think it's come out. I think there are a lot of people pushing that message that people know that UGC with influencers are actually ads and they're not effective anymore. I also know loads of people are doing really, really well with it.
No, I didn't say they're not working.
And it's not a
I'm saying it's a process. There is a big hype. Still, it's growing. This definitely needs to be done, but we see some challenges there as well, obviously.
Yeah,
like everything, experimentation and is a must. And specifically for motivation, obviously, shop abandonment are probably at all-time high, and it's very, very difficult to convert, right? How do you do that? I mean, what are the tactics or the things that you find that are very helpful? And I know it's brand dependent, definitely niche dependent, and definitely brand dependent. Even two brands competing with the same in the same product with the same buyers, it's you can't generalize everything. But what are the things that you see right in this category?
Yeah, I mean the exact execution is going to be brand specific,
Sure.
But essentially it's are your customers wowed by your product, right? As I mentioned earlier, so have they got a pain point that they're trying to get away from, or have they got a desired outcome they're trying to achieve? In some cases, it'll be both. In some cases, you can pitch it either way, depending on, you could just test different methods. But essentially, it's, do I want to lose weight, or do I want to be healthier? Right? The healthier thing is more the desired outcome, but the losing weight is the pain point. Right? I'm overweight. I want to lose it.
Yep.
So it kind of depends on how you want to pitch it, but that's essentially it, right? If I'm reading about this product, if I'm looking at the product page, looking through the benefits that you're listing and the information in your videos, in your imagery, do I genuinely believe that this product is going to get me there? And that your product is going to get me there as well.
Mm-hmm.
So a point I was making to this nutrition brand actually was, they've got people who are buyers of their category, and so all they've got to do is convince them that they are the product for this person to buy. There's also people who aren't necessarily convinced by the category in the first place and are new to the idea of nutritional supplements and things for children. So you're still essentially doing the same thing, but you've got to persuade people that this product itself is actually worth buying because it's really, really, it's going to be really, really beneficial to their children.
Yes.
So it comes down to most of it comes down to pain points, desired outcomes. Do I genuinely believe this product's going to do it? And some of that is UGC, social proof. Some of it is the messaging you use. When you talk about mixes of ingredients and the method you've used to create it, various things depending on what your business does and sell. But when it comes to abandoned carts, as you mentioned, the biggest issues we see are still obviously additional fees, right? They're still a killer. They always will be. I know there's a bit of a debate on should you offer free shipping or should you try and make it clear that that they should pay for shipping, and the cost of the product is cheaper, whatever. I don't know. Free shipping works, right? It is a pain point. It is a blocker.
Yeah.
But the other issues are either someone got distracted, and so they just left, or I mean, the tab could still be open on their screen. They've just suddenly someone's called them, or whatever. They've got distracted, or if they're browsing on their phone, they've arrived at their destination. Now I need to put that away and see my friends or whatever. And then the third part is they weren't wowed, right? Yeah. They read through the features, they found the product, they selected their options, they read through the features and went, yeah, okay, I'll get this, add it to cart. In that cart, they see that they're about to spend $80 on this product, and they go, do I actually need this? Do I want this right now?
Yeah.
Like maybe I'll think about it. Maybe I'll get it next week instead. Right? That's where we lose people.
Yeah.
That's where we want people getting to that stage where ideally, like, even just adding to cart, because they're thinking, I want this. Right? I want this right now because this is going to be beneficial to me. And then they don't even think about that cart step. Right? They add to cart, mini cart pops open, they just go, yeah, cool. Let's move forwards and
so you do
check
that
out. And
you did that through messaging, through variety of media assets, or some specific behavior?
It is normally messaging.
Yeah.
I mean, it all comes down to messaging, really.
Yeah.
But whether that's some of the text that you use in the description and how you talk about the products, it could be the images that you use, or sometimes the information you place on images.
Mm-hmm.
That's something we talk about a lot. Using kind of annotated images, really, where instead of just showing the product, we show the product and we also state, here are some of the benefits of it.
Yes.
And things like that. So it's just getting people to realize that this product is going to be the game changer for them. And if we can get them to that state, your chance of purchase quite significantly increases.
Great, real interesting stuff. What are some of the tips you can provide for other digital commerce leaders out there, probably on the agency side?
I think two things would be, like, just keep speaking to customers, whether that's your clients themselves to help you make your business better, or speaking to your clients' customers to find out what you can do better for them. And the other thing is that, like, don't be afraid to ask for help. Right? I think even as like agency owners, right? I know we kind of are, but we are the experts, obviously. But I think there's this feeling that you're supposed to be an expert in everything.
Yes.
Right. And there's a hesitation to ask for help because you will look weak, you will look bad. But actually, I mean, if it's not related to what you do, or if it's something that hasn't popped up before, and you're just like, oh, someone else might know an app for this. There's absolutely no harm in asking.
Yes.
Because you can't be everywhere at once, seeing everything that pops up. You're not going to know everything. You're not going to retain that information, right? So even if you have come across it, you might forget. I've learned so much from just networking with people and just asking for help,
right.
Especially agencies that were bigger than us previously. Speaking to their founders and saying, like, what do you recommend I do at this stage to help us get further? And people are happy to talk, right? I don't think not quite true. I've had one person who just immediately said, book via this link, and it was a payment link, which is, I suppose, fair enough, right? I'm asking for his time, but I think that's the only one person ever has asked me to pay for that. Everyone else is just, yeah, fine, let's jump on a call, 15 minutes, whatever.
Nice.
So yeah, keep doing research and keep asking for help.
Yeah, I like it, the way you define yourself and your agency, because even if I've been visiting the website, it's very, very focused, right? That's the place to talk CRO, right? And also, I think the main message in there is you on a video say, hey, give us a chance, right? We work for a few months and we show you we can improve dramatically your business results. In other words, don't pay us if we are unable to do that. So that's a very, very strong and compelling statement, right? So
Yeah.
well done on that.
Thank you.
That's the time of the episode where I usually ask my guests about a fun fact about themselves that most of their professional network are not aware of.
I don't know how fun the fact is, but I have 2 metal plates in my cheek because I broke my cheek playing rugby
Wow,
when I
really?
was 17. Yeah, that put an end to my rugby
It will end.
my
You
rugby career.
stopped. Wow.
Yeah, I had to stop after that. If I uh, it's not recommended that I break that cheek again.
Oh, yeah.
That would be problematic for me.
Okay, I understand. Wow.
But yeah, it's
You remember?
people are always a bit shocked by that.
Yeah, sure. You
Do
remember?
I remember
You
it?
remember everything, and you're
I
confident to
do
do it. Yeah.
actually. I was not knocked out.
Okay.
I remember lying on the ground, being walked off the pitch, going to the medical centre at school. Then that's when things get a bit hazy. So I can remember the incident really well.
Okay.
But yeah, and I actually found out years later that I think it was the surgery. I thought my surgery happened a week later. It was actually 2 weeks later.
Okay.
So I've lost that week.
Got it.
And also basically that entire term of school was just a write off because I just can't remember it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. But everything is an experience in life, right? And probably,
Yeah.
how this incident helped me, go into CRO and work with brands. And so that's
It taught me a valuable lesson in rugby,
okay.
which is not so useful to me now because I don't play. But that lesson is don't run out of position and make a tackle that is not your responsibility when there is someone there making that tackle at the same time.
Yes. Yeah. Nice.
That's how you end up with a broken cheek.
Got it. Yeah. Well, how people can find you?
Either customerswhoclick.com. We've actually got a nice new website that we launched
Yes,
quite recently.
very nice.
So there's loads of information on there, or LinkedIn. So
Great.
just Will Laurenson on LinkedIn. I share CRO content on there every day.
Great, and we will share all the information on the show, on the episode show notes. So really, thank you for your time, Will. It was really a pleasure having you here.
Awesome. Right. Thank you so much for having me.
Bye bye.